I have heard of this. It's pretty awesome. It's all women GDQ speedrunning community at GDQ.
We're here. We're going to do some Pokemon. And by we, I'm in Treveria. How's it going?
Well, a little early for me. But other than that, excited to be here.
We're excited too. I think we'll just get right into it.
Sure.
If you're ready to go.
I'm just going to load into the save file.
We could.
Sweet.
And then time's going to start on the first input here.
All right. Do you want to count us up? Count in, or do you want us to do it?
Yeah, I can count us in.
Sweet.
All right. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So, this run, save file. Explain that.
So yeah, this is not going to be a speedrun of the entire game. Instead, this is what we call a single story run. So it's just going to be one of the 3 major storylines that make up the core game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This one's called Victory Road. And it's just a nice and relatively short speedrun compared to the any percent speedrun where, it's like 5.5 hours. To make it even shorter and more bearable to reset this run, the community voted to, always be able to skip the intro of the game. It's like 50 minutes of gameplay that are always kind of the same, a little boring. So we always start right after the intro is done at the point in the game where we have received the ability to actually ride our Pokemon Koraidon here, or Miraidon if you're playing Violet, which just opens up the map for you, so you couldn't really do anything about the storylines before that anyway. Which is why we just started in the middle of Misagosa, the central town of the region, instead of, starting at the beginning of the game with creating the character and all that.
I love that we get to do that. You all get to do that because everyone's time is really valuable. It's already still a decently long category.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just makes it a lot more accessible for people who want to do it. So it's great.
Well, I genuinely think no one would do these if you had to do the first hour of tutorial. The tutorial in this game is extremely long.
Oh no. Alright. Lost my stream.
Hey everyone, we're just experiencing some internet moment. Stay tuned with us.
Alright.
Oh, I saw some color bars. I love that. That's fun.
I'll just continue?
Yeah, let's get going. We're good.
Alright. Well, we're just gonna make our way across the countryside here because we are going to pick up our main Pokemon for the run. Now for this save file I chose Fuecoco, the fire starter, and that is going to play a role later in the run, but it's not going to be our main Pokemon because it's pretty slow and speed is generally very important for the Pokemon that we use in speedrunning. So
Fuecoco is first in our hearts, and that is really what matters.
Unfortunately, it is not first in turn order.
Sadly not.
It's so sad.
But yeah, we are going to look for a different Pokemon. I just picked up a Quick Ball. That's a very, very nice find here on the map because it will basically guarantee a catch if it happens during the first turn of battle. So that's just, catching's more consistent. This is actually the slower path to take if you're doing PB attempts. There's another path, but it doesn't have a Quick Ball on it, so you have to do the catch with an Ultra Ball, which is only like 60% successful. So it's not that rare to actually get a breakout, which would be pretty bad. So this is going to be our main Pokemon right here, Flamigo. I'm going to approach it from the back and just throw a Pokeball at it. This will startle the Pokemon. We actually call this a backstrike, and backstriking increases the catch chance. So just a quick ball would be about 80% likely to catch, but with the backstrike, it's 100% guaranteed. So we don't have to worry about getting a breakout here and having to resort to Pokeballs or anything like that.
Oh, I just love looking at Fuecoco. You know, it's just so important.
If we're lucky, we'll get the glitch where Fuecoco just shows up in all the cutscenes.
Yes!
We do definitely have one chance of getting that. I haven't seen it outside of the post-Titan cutscenes, and we only are going to see one of those.
I'm used to Path of Legends, where if it happens once, you get the whole run, and that's a blessed run.
Oh, it definitely is.
Absolutely.
I just flew to the wrong flight point out of habits. I forgot that I did the early parts first to get the Pokédoll. I picked up an item earlier called the Pokédoll that guarantees that you can get away from a battle. I usually do this movement part to this watchtower second, but for safety, I wanted to get that Pokédoll first. I'm just gonna drop down here. Oops, I did that wrong. You're supposed to dismount, slide off of the edge, and then remount before you hit the ground. Because Koraidon, our right Pokemon, has a somewhat long animation if the fall is too long and you can't move during that, which is kind of inconvenient. And now we are actually going to deposit the Fuecoco.
Goodbye, friend.
And use this item called an EXP candy. We just raised... Oh, that's nice. We just raised Flamigo's level by 8 with one item. Very, very convenient. Just gonna take a screenshot here. I forgot to do that. I was looking for a specific ability on the Flamigo because it can have one of two. One of them is called Tangled Feet. It doesn't really have any use for us. The other one is called Scrappy. Now, Scrappy would usually make us able to hit ghost types with fighting or normal type moves, which ghost types are usually immune to. But we actually are not going to use it for that. Instead, Scrappy also negates the ability Intimidate, which a couple of enemy Pokemon have in this run. And Intimidate will drop our attack, which is pretty bad because we want to hit hard. So, yeah, we always want to look out for that ability, Scrappy.
Would have been much worse before this gen.
Why was it worse?
Well, it didn't block Intimidate until this gen.
It didn't block Intimidate until this gen? Oh, okay. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something that makes Flamigo even more viable as a main Pokemon for the speedrun. It's already great because it has high base stats, it has great type coverage, flying, fighting, good type combination in Pokemon. But yeah, we're fighting the Titan Claw here. It isn't really part of the storyline that we're tackling, but defeating Claw gives us the ability to dash, so it just raises our movement speed, which is, of course, in a speedrun, that's very nice to have. I also just used Wing Attack on turn 1 here, instead of just going for the super effective Low Kick. The reason for that is that Low Kick will never be able to kill the Claw from full health. And Claw has an ability called Anger Shell, which will lower and raise some of its stats if it drops below 50%. And each of those buffs and debuffs has its own very slow animation. So we want to avoid that by, damaging it just a little bit so that it's in range to go down to Low Kick and then take it out when it's already weakened. So this is the one chance we have to get the Fuecoco glitch. Doesn't look like we got it though.
No.
Yeah, I'm sad about it.
What causes it? Is it just random?
We don't know.
Okay.
At least I think somebody might know. I don't know.
I definitely don't know either.
It should be mandatory, I'm just saying. We need to put in a lot of effort to figure out exactly how to manip this.
I do think that would add a lot of value to the run. I agree. Because sometimes you also get like just a Pokeball in the middle as well. It's also possible it doesn't happen with later patches, so who knows.
I haven't seen it in a bit, so they may have patched it out.
Why would they do that? Why would they take Fuecoco away from us?
I'm sorry.
So rude. This is a very interesting Flamigo that I caught myself. It has minimum defense and speed, but very, very high attack. So you'll have to see that. The only stats that really matter for this run are attack and our defenses. Speed doesn't matter too much.
Is it one of those things where like having good speed will save you a little bit of time, but it's not super important? Or is it just like really negligible?
It is completely negligible. We actually have the minus speed nature too, so that would be pretty bad in any other Pokemon run. But our main strategy for this run is to collect a bunch of those candies, like the one that I used before the claw fight, and basically get over-leveled real fast. So we won't really be in any trouble when it comes to speed until the last half hour of the run, but there's another thing that we can do to bypass our low speed by then.
Cool. So we're just so high leveled, it just doesn't even matter. We just have the numbers advantage there. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
And the nice thing about this game being open world is that you can just run around and grab there's just stuff everywhere. And so in a lot of other games, you're just kind of limited by what's available by the progress you've made. Because it's open world, you can just run around and grab way more stuff than you really should have access to.
Yeah, and the fact that it's just easy to run around too with the ride Pokemon. So it's why I really like watching this run. I think it's interesting.
And backwards long jump lets us get to things that we shouldn't be able to earlier too.
Yeah, speaking of which, we're gonna see.
We about to see it? Yeah.
An example here.
Sorry, backwards ledge jump. That's what it's called.
Backwards legs jump?
Ledge
jump, yeah.
That's ledge jump. That's so good. Good reference.
So this is what that drop down earlier was supposed to look like. Sliding down and remounting when I'm close to the ground. I just picked up a TM and some super potions. The TM we're not actually going to use. We're just going to sell that later because we have to do quite a lot of shopping in the late part of this run. So we're going to actually pick up quite a few of those items to sell along the way. Also picked up a photo store here. That's for safety. It's not strictly necessary, but we do like the added safety for runs like this.
And then soon we're going to encounter our worst enemy, water. I'm pretty sure in Path of Legends I failed every single water jump at some point.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna take a little bit of time before we get to the really difficult jumps in this run. The next obstacle that we have to bypass is apparently this Treefort. I did not see that at all. I'm just gonna use the Pokédoll that I picked up. That's what it's for.
Smart.
I was contemplating if I could just get away, but since this Flamigo has minimum speed and getting away from a battle is tied to speed,
I don't
didn't want to try.
Treefort speed, base speed.
Oh no.
It's really slow. Okay. You probably would have been fine. It's base 34.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Next time when you run into our graveyard friend, you could just run away, I guess.
It's unfortunate. You can set up a Pokemon just like that to pick up items and auto battle wild Pokemon, which, in case a wild Pokemon spawns right on top of an item that we need to grab, is really convenient because we don't risk actually running into that. Luckily, I was just able to pick up another Pokédoll right there, so if we hit another encounter along the way here, I should be fine. Plus, there's even a third Pokédoll right here. These items are always in set locations, so all about memorizing what we need to pick up and what extra items we can find along the way.
Yeah, I believe the glimmering ones are random, but the Pokeballs are static.
Yes. Here I'm gonna actually dismount before sliding off and not remount when I hit the ground, because I can just press Y, and the game thinks I've fallen off by accident and allows me to get ported back up to where I was before. But I did just unlock the flight point to the Pokemon Center, so we will be able to return to it later. But for now, I just want to continue up this mountain, which in my opinion is the worst part of the game. Because there's Greavers everywhere.
There. Yeah, there's nothing there except for Greavers.
Yeah. Also Snoms, those are hard to see. It's just not a good time.
Something about this game when you're running around is that the hitboxes of everything very much are correct and look like what you would expect.
Yeah. We definitely never have problems with getting into encounters with Pokemon that are like, I don't know, 20 feet away.
No, that would never happen.
Especially rough if there's a Pokemon sleeping right next to a tree. We haven't seen that yet, but those Pokemon tend to have ridiculously large hitboxes for some reason. So yeah, this category is about beating the gyms and becoming a Pokemon champ, so very much similar to standard Pokemon runs. And that's a gym right there, but we're just gonna run past it. We don't care. We have other things to do. I just touched the Pokemon Center again to get the fly points. I should run up this slope. Because we're not quite done with collecting items yet.
There's a ton of stuff down here.
Yeah. Just jumping down into the town. And there's another gym right there. But that's also not the first one that we're gonna tackle.
We have a question from the chat, which I think I know the answer to, but want to make sure. Are the items you're picking up off the ground random?
So the items that are shown as Pokeballs on the overworld are always the same. The only items that are random are hidden items. You can sometimes spot those as little, like a sparkle on the ground. Those usually are, I want to say, I think there's a pool of items that each of those locations, just like that, can be.
Pretty sure that's right.
And the game just randomly draws one of those items. Like there are some spots where you can exclusively find different berries, and there are other spots where you can also find like money items or Pokeballs or something like that.
I believe Sword and Shield's wild area worked the same way.
Where it had like predetermined items, then it had items with a certain percentage chance. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so we're coming up on the first pretty tricky jump of this run. This run actually has harder movement than any percent in many ways because we do have to take a couple of shortcuts that would not be optimal in any percent, but we do have to take to be faster. This jump isn't it. This one is pretty easy. This upcoming jump is the one that I'm worried about. Let's see if I can get it.
High jump, which helps for some of these.
Yeah. Oh no, I just missed it. Oh, wait. Recovered. The Pokemon that spawned right at the bottom of this actually helped me out.
Nice.
So yeah, you can hit the slope a little bit higher there, so Koraidon actually doesn't start sliding, which is the optimal way to do it. But I landed a little bit too low on it, where the slope is steeper, so it will initiate the slide, and you can't get out of that once you've started. So if I had hit the water, there would have been like a fade to black, which is pretty slow, and it would have reset me to the side of the river. We want to avoid that. So, coming up on the laggiest town in the game. Oh, you want to pick up this?
Oh. It's one rare candy. How important could it be?
Quite important. I would have had at least one backup candy to take, but ideally I just collect the ones that I set out to collect. I also picked up a quick ball here that we are going to use later, since Flamigo is not the only Pokemon that we are going to catch during the run. And then I'm going to enter our first gym, which means we're going to meet our rival here, Nimona.
It's
She's
also time to find Mr.
Yeah.
Walksabout. I believe in you all. You can do it.
Yeah, so each of the gyms in this game has a gym puzzle that you have to solve, or like a mini game that you have to play in order to be able to challenge the gym leader. We're going to see the first instance of this here in a couple of seconds, but first I have to do a menu because our Flamigo is still level 26, which is actually pretty decent for this gym, but we do want to be a little bit higher level just to make it easier for us. So we're going to use all of these candies that were collected and just casually get to level 55.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Why
You're
make
so
not one
right.
shot
I should have
things?
done
You
this
just
strategy
one-shot everything.
casually. Why didn't I just automatically know where all the rare candies are and blaze through this game? That was so foolish of me.
Yeah,
That is on me. That is on me.
Yeah, that's on you.
Wow,
Honestly.
you
should
really
know
just
better.
shoot up. It's incredible.
Yeah, it took us some time to figure out where the optimal candy locations for this are, but there's a really nifty map that the community has access to where basically every rare candy and every experience candy, M and L, are drawn onto the map. So that makes it really easy to find a good path for each of the runs. Yeah, I actually didn't use all of the rare candies just then because we do want to save a couple of those for later. It just works out best this way. So we're actually going to go even higher in level. But that's probably going to happen after the first break. So the gym puzzle for the first gym here is a little bit of a Where's Waldo situation. We have to find our principal of the school that we are enrolled in. Gentleman in the red jackets. Very, very hard to find.
How do you? It's so impressive how you're able to do it so fast.
Yeah, he's always in the same position. So, I mean, it would be neat if they had at least a couple of those to randomly shuffle in, but I'm pretty sure you can only do this once. So, yeah, it's just the same 3 maps over and over again, basically. Just doing our first actual battle here against this gym trainer. Now, the Pokemon on the gym trainers are actually pretty random. They have random abilities, random natures. So this Luxio that I just defeated could have potentially had the ability Intimidate, which would have caused an extra window to pop up to tell me that Intimidate triggered and was negated by Scrappy. But luckily, we won the coin toss. There we go. We won the coin toss and it seemed to have rolled its other ability, Rivalry. So we didn't lose that extra second.
It's one of the only games that does that too.
Yeah, there are a couple of instances like this in later gyms as well, where we can just get small time nodes completely based on RNG.
The only other game that Pokemon game I could think of that is a similar thing would be the fact that all the snag Pokemons are random in Colo, but for the most part, trainer Pokemon are static across the series.
This Fluffy isn't as random. It always has static, but static has a 30% chance, I think, to paralyze us if we make physical contact, and looks like I actually didn't get it this one time. For me, it seems to be inverse odds, so I get paralyzed 70% of the time instead of 30. But I got lucky this time. Doesn't actually matter too much since we get a free heal right after this fight. There are so many free heals in this game that we don't really have to worry about things like statuses. But it also would have generated an extra text box that would have taken up time. And yeah, that's it for the gym test. We have found Mr. Walks about 3 times. And now we can actually fight the first gym leader. We already met her since she was our host for the minigame. It's Iono, the electric type gym leader.
Are we Iono fans, chat?
Yeah.
I like Iono a lot.
She's great. Her gimmick is that she's a streamer. So there's going to be a lot of chat interaction here on screen.
I did like when they did like the Iono reveal trailer, and there were like Pokemon streamers being like, "Wait, they're making fun of us," and I'm like, "Yeah, this rules." I also want her hair ties; they're fantastic. I'm surprised they have not released her jacket for purchase, like in real life.
Yeah, I mean, her character design in general seems like it will be a goldmine for merchandising.
You'd think.
And she just got a donation. 5,000 Pokemon dollars. I think that's what the currency is called.
Quite a bit. That's like half a vitamin.
True. All right, let the fight begin. She starts out with this Wattrel. We are just going to use Wing Attack on it. That's not very effective, but we don't have any move that would be at least neutral. So, you know, we just hit it. Since we are over leveled, it doesn't matter, it still goes down. But we can't avoid that extra text box of the game telling us that it wasn't very effective. Next up is Belly Bolt. Since when does that come out second? Does it always come out second?
Thought so. Oh no, I thought it came out third. Yeah, wait.
Yeah, must have wrote that down wrong on my notes or something. Because usually Luxio, I feel like Luxio usually comes out second, but it doesn't matter. This is the first case of Intimidate on a gym leader. Now, the abilities and natures of the Pokemon on gym leader fights are not random, so this Luxio will always have Intimidate. But luckily we have Scrappy, so we don't have to worry about that. Next, she stands off with Mages.
Iono, I think, was the first
Oh, that's the wrong
one
move.
that I did, and I immediately got Oh, does this kill?
I don't think it will. Though we have very high attacks, so I might get lucky with like a range or something, but I may just have wasted a turn by accident. Oh well.
Yeah, I got owned by this so bad. I was like, that's not electric type. Oh wait, I forgot this game's whole thing.
Oh no, not the confused ray.
Oh no.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Should have picked up that full heal earlier. Come on, just hit. Good, okay.
Okay.
There we go. So yeah, this game's whole thing is the terrestrialization that we just saw here. So Miss Mages usually is a ghost type, but with the terrestrialization, Iono turned it into an electric type, so fitting for her gym. And each of the gym leaders is going to do that in the run. Actually, it's just going to happen in every boss battle, including rival battles and the Elite Four and all of that. But yeah, we are done with the first gym here. There's going to be a little bit of a cutscene right after, and then we can go and challenge our next gym leader, because that's pretty much what the run is going to be like, at least for the next 2 splits. Just fighting the gym leaders with our very over-leveled bird.
I do have a quick update. We are down a frozen Flygon due to weather-related internet issues. We'll see if they're able to come back. But until then, you're stuck with just me, so...
That's all right.
I will keep you all posted as this story develops.
right, so before we leave town, we do want to pick up one extra rare candy right here. So we're just going to get onto Coridon and dash right to it and get out of this laggy hellscape. There it is. Oop. We're flying back to this watchtower that's very close to where we fought Cloth. And there's another pretty tricky jump coming up right here, not this one. But we're gonna pick up one candy over there. There it is. And then we have to make a pretty precise jump. There we go. And hit this platform. I got it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, this one's spooky. I feel like you have like slightly more give than it seems, but it's still like dope. If you miss it, it sucks.
In general, it seems pretty hard until you found a setup that works for you. So when I started running this, I was very inconsistent with the jump, and then I just sat down and practiced it for like 20 minutes one time, and now I'm pretty good at it. I still mess it up occasionally.
The movement for this has gotten so much more so optimized since I ran this.
Yeah.
Like all of the single stories are like super slick now with all the tricks you do to minimize landing and things like that.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of developments. In all of the single story runs, actually, they've been pretty active for longer than any percent really after release. Activity has died down a little bit, which is to be expected for these newer games. So we have settled on this. Yeah.
Any percent was like really big, like when it came out, and then I feel like I don't see anyone talking about running any percent anymore, just because the beginning and the end are just so slow.
Yeah, there's actually a miscellaneous run of this game called Treasure Hunt, where it's basically only the good parts. So you cut out the beginning 50 minutes and the ending 40 minutes or something, and just basically do all of the 3 single story runs. And that's a pretty good, like, I would say, compromise between wanting to beat the entire game and not wanting to spend 5.5 hours on one speedrun.
Yeah. Well, one speedrun where like an hour and a half of it is just cutscenes too.
Yeah.
It's a very long game to do any percent for. For context, it is slower to complete any percent in this game than it is to catch every Pokemon. To do like complete your diploma with 2 players in Let's Go. Honestly, or to catch every single available Pokemon in Let's Go as well. That is also a faster category. So I'm doing I did not know I could bonk into that bush. I'm doing the gym puzzle here in Artisan, where we are supposed to find 10 of these sunflowers just lying around. I found 8 already. This path has also been optimized to be as quick as possible. There are more than 10 sunflora hidden in the town. So there's like 30,
in theory,
I think.
Yeah, in theory there are a lot of options, but through a lot of trial and error, the community has found this route to be the quickest.
When this came out, I feel like everyone just like copied whoever they happened to watch doing it and was just like, I don't want to figure this out. I assume that's fast enough. And then somebody, I don't know who eventually figured it out, but props to them for just sitting down and doing it.
Yeah, I actually don't know either. I just, like you said, I just copied it from whoever I was watching at the time. Well, but that concludes the gym test, and we can now challenge the second gym leader. And I'm pretty sure that this gym leader is actually the second lowest level as well, so actually supposed to be the second gym leader as well, unlike Yono.
Yeah, I think this one, that was a weird thing to me, is that like do whatever you want, but it doesn't scale the gyms to your current progress.
Yeah.
You are intended to do them in a specific order, and that order is not necessarily the clearest. It was an interesting choice.
You could call it interesting, yes. I was a little disappointed, to be honest, when I played this casually. I just thought, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to keep going this way. And then I got to... I was trying to go to the psychic gym because I thought, that's basically right next to the bug gym, which is the weakest one. A little bit of a detour. And then I tried to go there. And suddenly all the Pokemon around me were level 40 or something. And I was still level 15. And I thought, what is going on? Wow. Really wish they would have scaled the levels, but that's not the game we got.
If anyone who's played, I believe it's Oblivion that does this, knows that there's problems with that too. But overall, I think it probably would have made things a bit smoother.
There's the rain. Weather in this game tends to make the lag worse. I feel like this town is fine to get rain in, but ideally we just don't want to see any weather at all during the run.
Yeah, my least favorite is getting snow in the
on the mountain,
where you get acrobatics.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That tanks it so bad. This part bothers me so much because why would you call it truly Wudo when you could call it Trudo Wudo? I can't get over this.
So yeah, just use double kick, because Sudowoodo has Sturdy. Sturdy is an ability that means it cannot get one shot from full health. And double kick hits twice in one turn, so it gets around that ability. Really helpful. That's really the only reason why we keep double kick as a move. Because there's one more Pokemon with Sturdy in the run, and it just saves one entire turn. And considering that we cannot turn off move animations, turns are actually pretty long in this game.
Yeah. One of two modern games that doesn't let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is the first game that doesn't let you choose set mode over switch mode. Which is part of why we can't have anything in the back of our party, because we lose time after every knockout.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
I get the animations. I don't get the set switch change.
Yeah. Actually, I also don't get the animations. Just let people turn them off. I mean, why would they go back on that if they've always let people do it before? Anyway. This is Hassel, that we're just meeting here, member of the Elite Four, just coming to check up on us. All of the members of the Elite Four will show up throughout the run in these gym cutscenes, just, checking out the competition. Before I leave, I'm actually gonna deposit the Flamigo for now. And we're gonna withdraw Lechonk. That's the
Lechonk's got this.
Yeah.
Main swap.
We caught the Lechonk in the tutorial, which is part of the setup for the save game in this category. So we didn't see it on screen, but it is legal to catch it, and we are going to use it here for just a bit. I'm not going to do a fake out or anything. We've already seen that at GDQ. So we're just going to go to the next gym here. I do have to be a little bit careful since the chunk is level 3. So if I had an encounter, I definitely have to use another one of those Pokédolls. Ideally, I just won't hit an encounter then. I just flew to that Pokemon Center 2 that I unlocked by falling down and porting back up earlier. So this is where that would connect to. And we're going to approach the town right there, which contains the normal type gym, which is led by everybody's favorite character.
True. Extremely true. It's either it's one of two,
Yeah. But sadly, we will have to wait just a little bit longer because when entering this gym, our rival shows up and challenges us to a battle. Of course, we have Lechonk in the lead. which is actually faster. Because for some reason in this game, and I'm just, spoiling that a little bit, spoiling the surprise. But in this game, for some reason, the rival fights, you can actually lose. And it's fine. You don't have to do them again. They're a one-time thing. And since Demona has multiple Pokemon and always goes for the terrestrialization, which is a 30-second animation to happen, losing the fight is much faster than winning. You do lose out on a little bit of experience and money, but since experience is, very easy to get with all of the candies, we don't really care.
All right, Lechonk.
I'm sorry, but you have to die.
No.
It's always sad to see it go.
At least it didn't miss rock throw and waste time.
Yeah, the first of the rival fights here is the only one that can take more than one turn, because not only can Nemona go for rock throw and miss, but she can only just randomly use a non-damaging move. I've had this fight take 3 turns once, which was very annoying, because again, it's supposed to take 1 turn. So, Lechonk, good work. You can go back to the box. Time for the big bird to return. So yeah, the gym puzzle in this town is that we're supposed to fight some trainers here in town to get some hints on a secret menu item, because there's a restaurant here in town that's famous and part of the gym puzzle. But the solution to the gym puzzle is always the same. The recipe is always the same. So we don't have to actually find these clues. We just can go to the restaurant and order the item immediately. No need to do any fights.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So you want grilled rice balls with a medium serving, extra crispy with a lemon.
Sounds good. I want to try this.
And you see those people eating right there on the floor, just minding their own business? Well, they're gone. Don't know where they went.
They're hiding underneath. They just all got flipped over.
Yeah, that's also what I like to imagine. Hope that none
Also,
of them
now we
spilled
get
their soup.
Chekhov's Larry.
That's right, because who just happens to be taking their lunch break when we enter the gym? It's none other than the gym leader, Larry.
Yeah. God, Larry's
Everybody
so
loves
good.
Larry. He just wants to take a break, and we're ruining that for him by forcing him to work.
The leader designs in this game were very, very good.
Yeah, they're all very unique. And especially Larry, you know. He's working as a gym leader, but he also has an office job, and he takes that very seriously.
Larry has a lot of jobs, honestly.
Yeah.
He's truly on the grind.
All of the gym leaders have a job on the side. That has been pretty common in the newer Pokemon games. I mean, it happened as early as in the first game, where, you know, you had a soldier, Lieutenant Sarge.
Did everyone in Gen 8 have side jobs? I'm trying to think now.
Not necessarily, no, because it was treated as a sporting event in Gen 8,
so
right?
they were like full-time.
Yeah. But in this game, they just have their own thing happening on the side. Like I said, Yono is a streamer, Brassius is an artist, Larry here, of course, has his office job, and then, each of the other gym leaders that we're about to face, or going to face in the rest of the run, they're also going to have their own jobs. It's not all about the gym for them, which I can respect.
All right, now for the longest dialogue ever.
Yeah, for some reason there's like a minute cutscene in the middle of the battle. The people of the town coming in to cheer on Larry, which honestly I can relate. I would also want to cheer Larry on.
I mean, if they're gonna give us a minute cutscene, Larry is the time to do it.
True. Staraptor here also has Intimidate, so that's another reason why Scrappy is good. But we took quick care of it, and that's the third gym for us.
Larry, I believe, is the only gym leader who terastallizes a Pokemon to the same type. Which does have an effect. It does increase your stab, and it gets rid of your secondary type. But most of the gym leaders will terastallize to a non-typed Pokemon to the type that matches their gym. But Larry's so normal. He's extra normal.
I never thought of that. You're so right. He's just too normal.
He's too normal.
It couldn't have been anything else.
All right, so where are we off to next?
Well, we're actually going to do a little bit of traveling here. That's going to be a little bit of a break before we take on the next gym leader. We're just going to travel across the region, pick up some more items, do a couple of those gym puzzles already, but not necessarily fight the gym leaders, because we want a very specific order for the gym leaders. And in order to set that up, we're just gonna skip a couple of the gym battles for now. Hey, Drifloon.
Drifloon! Yeah.
So, when would you want to do a break?
I mean, we can get a little bit into this, and I think take one.
All right. Another BJ right here to get up this slope. You can actually run pretty far up it, but at some point it just gets too steep. One more candy. There's another BLJ coming up that I've been weirdly inconsistent with during practice. I used to not have to worry about this at all. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, that's good. That's how that's supposed to go. So never mind. I'm good. I've never been inconsistent.
I feel that.
And of course, there's a sandstorm here. This town is right next to a desert and can have sandstorms. And because the gym battle...
That's good, right?
No, it's not. The gym battle, that's the gym leader of this town. The gym battle here takes place outside. So if there's a sandstorm, that wastes some time since you take damage every turn during a sandstorm if you're not ground, rock, or steel type. And Flamigo is none of those. So, super annoying. The weather does change every 5 minutes, so ideally there won't be a sandstorm when we get back, because we do have to take that detour that I was talking about. Let's just hope this is the last that we see of the sandstorm. Now we're actually going to go into the desert, because the gym leader just ran off to a town on the other side of the desert to go shopping, but he forgot his wallet. And our task is to return it to him.
His wallet's very cute, by the way, if you look at the sprite. This is Venonat themed. Despite him being the water gym.
Or maybe he just likes Venonats.
That's fair. I'm just saying.
I want to hit the slope here when coming down, because that will also skip the hard landing animation that I mentioned earlier. We don't want to go too far north here, because there's a cutscene trigger. And we can just skip the cutscene by staying further south. Because that's just another cutscene where Kofu, the gym leader, is looking for his wallet. Realizes he did not bring it. Alright, this is a pretty tricky jump again. See if I can get it.
This one's rough.
First try, there we go.
Right,
yeah,
well,
very.
Not that rough, apparently.
We have a very short run up for the jump. You have to dash to get the full length, but if you dash from the other side of the roof, you just like fall off of the other side. You don't have an opportunity to jump. So that makes the jump pretty precise. One of the harder jumps to learn during this run. So we want to return the wallet here, but this guy that's, just traveling with Kofu is a little suspicious of us, doesn't think we're actually trying to return the wallet. So he challenges us to a battle. This battle is pretty annoying because both of the Pokemon here have Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet is a priority move, so it will always go first. There we go. These Pokemon are way lower level than us, so the only way that they actually get to attack is by using Aqua Jet, which means if they use it, it's a waste of time because they can also not use it.
Thanks, Floatzel.
Yeah, I usually get at least one here. Ideally, you get 0. Let's see, Plunger. Yeah, okay, we get the double Aqua Jet. Worst possible fight. Though I guess that's not quite true because it can also rain, and this counts as outside even though there's a roof above us. And the Floatzel has an ability called Swift Swim, which just doubles its speed in rain. So if that happens, it can just use any other move that isn't Aqua Jet and still outspeed us, especially with this Flamingo because it's so slow. That has never happened to me, but I've heard of other runners getting a slower animation than Aqua Jet on this fight. So you'd think that returning the wallet is enough of a gym challenge here, but Kofu actually wants to do an auction for him. There's this herb that's on sale here on the marketplace, and he really wants it, and he wants us to go and bid on it for him. The good thing is we get to keep the change. He gives us 50k, so we really want to get the lowest possible price. Luckily, there is an easy way to do this. By simply not bidding anything to one. So our two opponents are going to go high, then we go to 35, and that's immediately too much. When I played this casually, I had no idea that you got to keep the change, so I guess I could have guessed that. And I spent the full 50k on the auction because I didn't know how to do it, how best to do it. That was a little sad.
The minimum was what, 25k?
35k.
Oh, 35 is the minimum you can get. I thought you could get lower than that.
Can't get lower than that, no. So you get to keep 15k, which is pretty huge.
That is a lot of money. That's 3 nuggets.
True. So I think this would
one
be
rare bone. Wait, no. 1 comet shard.
True.
In Gen
this would be
6. I don't know about now.
This would be a good opportunity to take a break, or we could also just wait another couple of minutes here.
Yeah, we can take a break if you want to pause as soon as this cutscene ends.
Yeah.
Or this
There
travel ends. And okay, cool, perfect. We'll be right back with more gyms and more gym leaders. But before we go, we have a couple announcements. Frame for Tolls is Games Done Quick's all-women online speedrun community. That's what we're showing off here in this show right now. The upcoming event, Flame for Tolls, will run from August 13th to 20th. Schedule will be released on July 6th. Go to gamesdonequick.com/framefortolls for more information. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned for more Pokemon. Hi, welcome back to Tiny Treefort. It's the GDQ Hotfix show where we show off the fine folks of the Frame Fatals community. I'm here with Javaria. How you doing?
Still doing good.
And
More
we're
awake now than an hour ago.
Yeah, good. I like that. For us waking you up, you're doing extremely well in all the movement. So we're like what? We're making our way through Victory Road. We're on our way to be the league champion. So I think we can just get back into it whenever you're ready. Count us back in.
All right. So 3, 2, 1, go. We just flew back to the academy, and we're gonna jump across this fence and just land. There we go, right here, enter the loading zone because Mesagoza is a completely separate map from the rest of Paldea. So we get loaded into this part, which is right in front of the Pokemon League building. So this is where we will end up, where we will fight the Elite Four. We're not ready for that yet. We don't have all of the badges, but we do want to pick up the fly point to the Pokemon Center so we can return later and don't have to go through Mesagoza again. And then we can just run up this wall.
And even if we could get into that building, I don't believe we'd be actually able to do anything. Pokemon is generally very good about actually making sure that you have all the things you need.
There we
or
go.
Specifically Game Freak is.
Yeah. There is... the person standing in front of the building checks your badges, so if you don't have all of them, they won't let you in. Plus then there's, a whole interview process that we are going to see later in the run.
I was so bad at the interview, I failed like 3 times. They asked me if I liked Pokemon, and I said no because I thought it'd be funny, and then they kicked me out.
Yeah, we can't have that.
I don't know what I expected.
Yeah, you can't fail that interview. Still going to be like an hour until we get there ourselves. But yeah, for now we are going to go into this gym. This is supposed to be the first gym that we do, the weakest one. We're not going to actually fight it yet. We're just going to pick up this item. That's an X attack. It's an item that we can use in battle to boost our attack for the battle. Very important. These X items are
with the other
so good, especially for speedruns, because using one just doubles your attack in this case. Really, really powerful. There's a new gym leader right there. Another one of the all-time greats, Rika.
Yeah, you're pretty much everyone's either a big Rika fan or a big Larry fan or both. That's generally the vibe of this game.
That's the rule. You have to be.
Yeah. You gotta like at least one.
I like them both. Well, we're going to take the gym challenge here, and we are going to do that immediately. But like with Kofi's gym, we aren't actually going to fight the leader here. Again, we still want to have a very specific order of the gyms. And Katie's supposed to be 5th, so there needs to be a 4th fight in between. It's raining right now, that is not great. Maybe stop before I get to the puzzle? No? Okay, well. Up next is the Olive game. I'm actually gonna do safety save here. Ooh.
Hi. I think I'm real again.
Wait, Court is real again?
The return of Court Frozen Flygon.
I said that I would keep chat updated on our Court updates, but Court's here to keep Court updated on our Court updates.
The storm has not fully gone away, but I'm back for now. So yay, I'm happy to be here. How's the run been?
Well, I would say it's been good so far. I haven't messed up too much outside of accidentally taking the wrong move on the first gym battle, but that's fine. We recovered. And now for this, the Olive Roll. This is a bad game. The physics for this Olive are just ridiculous. Yeah, as you can tell, we have to get it into that red basket over there. What are you doing? Stop doing whatever. Come on, get over the fence. There we go. This Olive can do a bunch of stuff that we don't want to see. For instance, it can get stuck in the ground, and there's no way to get out of that. So it's basically a soft lock.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it happened to me once. Very, very annoying. Because this is an hour into the run. And to get soft lock right here is very frustrating. Luckily, we didn't get it this time. we passed the test, and we never have to do the olive roll again.
Woo!
Long loading screen here.
That's. All right, Larry has won the poll over Rika, 11 to 9.
Okay, I respect that. Okay, there we go. So
What? Larry over Rika? I don't.
It was
respect
close.
That.
It was close. To be fair, if one person changed their vote, it would have been a
I should have
tie.
voted.
Me, I changed the vote, and it's a tie.
yeah. No, I do respect
Oh,
it.
wait, Court, I said it was almost for Coco time. I lied. I forgot the route.
Oh, is it not Coco time, or is Coco time later?
It's
later.
just- yeah.
Okay,
a little
okay,
bit
okay.
later.
As long as I haven't missed it.
The route has changed over the past couple of weeks or months. Though this is the same route that was used at GDQ. All right.
Because there's like a new one, right?
Yeah, there has been some development in this route. Flamigo has basically been the main Pokemon since day one for this category. But the thing that has changed over time is what Pokemon we use as our partner for the double fight gym, because there's one gym that is exclusively double battles. So you need a second Pokemon to fight with you. And that has changed quite a bit. And also the gyms, the order that we battle the gym leaders has changed quite a bit. This current iteration, I want to say, is like 2 months old. Maybe a little older than that, actually. Like I said, activity has been not quite as high in this category, or just in the game in general. Not as high as it was right after.
Everyone's back to Let's
Go.
Go.
Everyone's back to Let's Go.
I know. Let's Go's hopping. The tournament's been great.
Yeah. I'm also involved in that, so I haven't been playing too much Scarlet recently. I'm not gonna. Oh, yeah. So we are supposed to catch a Hariyama, like right there. If I had seen this in a PP attempt, I would have been very happy. But the Hariyama that we can catch here is kind of low leveled, which makes the double battle gym a little scary. So we're actually going to skip the Hariyama catch here. There is a safer, higher level backup later. It is a little bit slower, but yeah, I'm doing it for safety.
Makes sense. Yeah, everyone tried to get me into the Let's Go tournament, and I'm like, absolutely. You are absolutely not going to be back into Let's Go. I refuse. I'm too busy.
Tournaments are scary. That's my thing. I like watching them, but being in them is too much pressure for me.
I'm already procrastinating de-rusting stuff I have to do. I can't de-rust Let's Go as well.
I can understand that for sure. I put a lot of pressure on myself, specifically before the tournament, to get a good seeding. And that was pretty stressful, so I would not recommend. But now I'm back to playing Scarlet, so don't have to worry about Let's Go for a bit.
There you go.
And we're just approaching the next gym here. And this one we're actually going to fight. Isn't that neat?
Woo! This is... Wait, this is the best one, right?
The best one.
This one has the best challenge.
Yes, it's a great challenge.
May seems really enthusiastic about this.
It's really good and
So
super
incredibly
intuitive.
excited.
No, that was wrong. Don't want to go to the boxes. Yeah, these. We are going to use most of our candies here, and also the adamant mint. Mint. That has changed the nature of our Pokemon. Every Pokemon has a nature, and that nature just increases one of our stats by 10% and decreases another one by 10%. We were already plus attack nature, but we had that minus speed that we really don't want to have. So we instead use this adamant mint that is very conveniently located on the way to the first gym, or to the olive roll gym. And adamant nature raises our attack and lowers our special attack. And since we only attack with physical moves, that's the ideal nature for us. So,
And if you happen to just have Adamant, you save like 3 seconds.
That's true, because you don't have to pick up the mint and can take a more direct line to the Black Gym Town.
I was just thinking about using it. Maybe it saves more than 3 seconds.
Yeah, just a little bit more. It's not too bad, since there are 25 natures, so it's pretty unlikely that you just randomly roll Adamant. Now, this gym test, we're just supposed to copy these emotions. And there are, I think, 10 in the first round, but we only actually have to do the first 2. So we need 20% to pass.
Yeah, the threshold for this is so low.
Yeah, and we actually do want to only do those 2, because every time we actually use the correct emotion, this little timer on the emotion stops. It pauses for like 2 seconds.
That's incredible. I had no idea there was tech in the emotion game.
Yeah.
I think Amber figured this
right,
out.
Amber figured out that you could just do as little as possible here. We thought, like, when the game came out, we immediately suspected that we could, get around doing all 25 emotions, but no one really wanted to lose a run to being the first one who did too little. But then Amber.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. You don't want to just toss away an entire run, but...
Plus, both Amber and I both really enjoy trying to root the dumbest nonsense. Like, oh, this is stupid. I wonder how this one works.
So yeah, that's a second round of this game coming right up. That one has 15 emotions that we're supposed to copy, but we're just going to do 5. That's enough.
I just love the idle animation for this.
It is so good. I love it.
It's awkward.
It's so incredible.
What I love about this game is the little guitar riff that plays if you get the happy emotion. Let's hope we get one here. No, we don't. This was the 5th.
I just like that you can keep spamming the emotion after you've done
I'm
it.
just going to do this one to get the guitar riff. There we go.
Honestly, me too. I also spam emotions after everyone already understands how I'm feeling.
Okay, well...
I just can't stop.
I guess
Being
it's realistic.
excited.
That's on me.
I'm not just angry once, all right? We're not just scared once. Many times.
I've actually only been scared once.
Oh, okay.
Skill issue.
It really is.
All right.
What's everyone's favorite emotion of the 4 you can have?
That's such an existential question. I honestly think I'm trying to think which one has my favorite animation of all of them, but I gotta go with happy, the standard answer.
The fun thing about this gym in particular, we're supposed to just use wing attack on everything, but since the gym trainer Pokemon are random, they can randomly roll a plus defense nature, which actually means that wing attack won't necessarily always get the one shot. And there's really no way to tell in advance. Sometimes you just get screwed over. And this is the only gym where that actually comes into play, because for every other gym we are way more over-leveled. Luckily, that did not happen. We did not just lose a turn to bad RNG. Can move on to the next gym leader. There we go. So the next gym leader is Tulip, the psychic gym leader, like I said earlier. I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be the 6th or 7th gym leader that you take on. So pretty strong. Which also means that we don't just get to wing attack, which usually we want to wing attack because it's the shortest animation out of the moves that we have. But her Pokemon are pretty strong. So we will have to resort to acrobatics, which is a stronger move, but has also a longer animation. And since we cannot turn off animations, we always want to play around the animation times, pick the shortest possible move.
Yeah, another thing that's very similar to Kahlo.
I was surprised to see that when I first watched a Kahlo speedrun, that you could also not turn off the animation there. I feel like it makes more sense in Kahlo since it's not a mainline game.
Right, I would agree.
Yeah, my guess is that there is I know PLA it kind of made sense because you could run around in the battles that would affect the timing and stuff. And I guess they just kept it because they were
They love to just be wishy-washy about stuff like that. It's very confusing.
Look, it's called experimenting. You gotta just play around with it, see how it works out.
What isn't very experimental is this gym. It's very straightforward, just using acrobatics a couple of times here until we're done.
Nice. I love a straightforward fight.
The fights are going to get more interesting. We've been just tearing it up in the early part of the run because we're so over-leveled, but that's not going to be the case for the last couple of gyms and the Elite Four. Which means the fights are actually going to get a little more involved, a little more interesting. But that also means that more things can go wrong. So I'll probably start saving before fight. Usually you don't want to save in these single story runs because you have prepped that save file, right? And you want to be able to reuse it. So if you save for safety, that save file is just ruined. You can't use it anymore. You have to play through the intro again. It's not as bad.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're gonna have to make another one after this?
I will have to make another one.
Oh my gosh, that's so obnoxious. I'm so sorry.
That's alright. I would have actually preferred if I had gotten a Tangled Feet from Miko because then I could have used the backup save that is basically already ruined. But I got the scrappy one. Gotta keep playing.
This is why I also was I hate doing Path of Legends for events because if I do have to spend another hour making a freaking save.
Making another save, which is, oh my god.
Path of Legends.
Think about how many mudkips I could not get in that time.
Path of Legends is the worst offender for this. So Path of Legends is the storyline where you defeat all of the Titan Pokemon. And the current world record start for that is using the grass-type starter Sprigatito. But the requirements the Sprigatito that you get has to meet are so narrow. There's only 1% of Sprigatitos can actually be used for the run. So not only do you have to play through that first hour of pretty boring gameplay, but you also potentially have to reset the starter over and over again to actually get a good enough Sprigatito for the run. Luckily, the requirements for this run aren't quite as tough. So just
oh, hey, it's for Coco time.
That's true, and it's gonna stay for Coco time. We're not gonna take the evolution. I just gave it a Experience Candy L, and now I'm gonna. Nope, that's wrong. There we go. Gonna relearn Incinerate.
Ooh.
And that's a reason for that. Because we are going to fight the 5th gym now. That gym is the bug gym that we passed by earlier. I'm just gonna fly back to that town. And we want to use Fuecoco for this because at level 24, even unevolved, it is strong enough to defeat the bug gym since, bug is weak to fire. But then, after the fights... Ooh, really? Okay. after the fight, we are going to get challenged by our rival one more time, and we won't get the chance to swap out our Pokemon. So if we want to be able to lose that fight, we need a Pokemon that is strong enough to beat the Bug Gym, but weak enough to get taken out by Nemona's Lycan Rock in one turn. And Fuecoco is perfect for this, because it's strong against Bug, but it's weak against Rock. Works out perfectly. And this is also why we need Katie to be the 5th gym leader, since this particular rival battle always happens after the 5th gym.
Yeah, it's interesting that like the gyms don't scale at all based on how many badges you have, but the rival battles do.
I also found that very strange. You would think it would be like one or the other, kind of. I don't know.
I think it'd be both.
Yeah.
Both. I mean, this is the correct answer, however.
The rival fight is dependent on how many badges you have, which this works out very well for us in the speedrun sense, because Katie here has like level 15 Pokemon, and Nemona's gonna have level 30 plus Pokemon, because she expects you just beat Larry, basically. Larry's supposed to be the 5th gym leader. So this Fuecoco is going to be way stronger than anything that Katie has, but way weaker than anything that Nemona has, because of how the experience scaling works, or doesn't work in this game. All right. Gonna fight Katie here. Now, I'm gonna try something here that I've actually never done before. But I recently did some calcs for this fight, and it turns out that Ember also is enough to take out the Nimble and the second Pokemon here. I've been using Incinerate for everything, but as far as I know, Incinerate has a slightly longer animation, so using Ember for the first 2 Pokemon here is actually optimal. We will have to swap to Incinerate for her ace Pokemon though, because that has way higher special defense than the other 2. There it comes, it's a Teddy Ursa.
How do you feel?
Famous Baghdad.
How do you feel about this Fuecoco gaming?
Fuecoco gaming is the most important part of any speedrun, so therefore this run's going incredibly.
And it will continue to be like this.
Yeah.
Nothing bad could ever happen.
Believe in the Fuecoco.
I'm getting suspicious now. Wait a minute.
What do you mean? I just said nothing bad could ever happen.
Yeah, and you are completely factual and true and never led me astray before. Okay.
And there we go. That's our 5th gem badge obtained. And as you can see, Fuecoco just about doesn't hit the next level. If it had hit level 25 here, it would have tried to evolve again, which is slow. So we actually set the Fuecoco up to be a very, very specific, at a very, very specific amount of experience at the beginning of the run. We can do that because we set up the save file. So we actually lose some required battles in the intro. Because you fight Nemona twice, and you also fight Arven, the rival that we battled Clove with. And you actually have to lose the Arven fight and the second Nemona fight in order to get the Fuecoco into this particular position.
That's really interesting. Are the save files that you all set up for single story, are they different based on what story you're doing? Like, is the Path of Legend save, it's different than the Victory Road save? Okay.
Yeah, Path of Legends and Victory Road are definitely a lot different because we use a different starter for both. And then
sure. That makes sense.
Third single story run is a little bit different. Starfall Street, where you take on the evil team of this game, Team Star. Because there are so many different mains that you can use that are all pretty comparable in terms of top-end time.
Cool.
And if you use the Flamigo strats, or if you use the Venomoth strat for that, you can actually just reuse the Victory Road save. But there's also a strat, which is the current world record strat, where you use the water starter. So each of the 3 starters actually sees use in one of the speedruns in this game, which is neat. All right, well, like I said, Nimona just challenged us to a battle, and we did not have time to swap out our party. So Fuecoco's gonna go into this as well. And of course we get a free heal because you basically get a free heal before every boss battle in this game.
Very nice of them to use up all their healing items on us.
Yes. So we are currently being watched by the top champion. So the actual champion of this region, Gita, is watching this fight, trying to, scout the competition once again. And she expects an interesting battle here between two strong competitors. And we just get one shot by Lycan Rock and lose.
Court, don't look.
It's too late.
Okay, I'm not looking. No!
It's done. I'm sorry. It has to be done.
Okay.
There goes our hero.
It's okay, I forgive you. It's all in the name of speedrunning, I get it. It makes us do things we know we don't want to do.
Yeah. Sadly, Fuecoco has to die so that the run can live.
So true.
Well, yeah, but that concludes Fuecoco's stint on the team. We are putting it back in the box for her.
Love you. You did so good for us. I appreciate your service.
Wow, and now it's time to go back to... There we go. Should have zoomed out on the map, but it's fine. Go back to Cascarafa, the sandstorm town. Let's hope we don't get one. Because now we actually will fight Kofu. Just gonna... Oh, really? You can walk up the slope. There we go. There's a sandstorm right now, and I can't seem to be able to jump this fence. The sandstorm can still go away, okay? We don't need this. If the 5 minutes could just roll over before the fight starts, that would be great.
Oh no. Why is this so bad?
I keep getting super unlucky with the weather.
Ugh.
There's a little bit of a cutscene here in the gym, and also getting out of the gym, actually challenging Kofu. And if the sandstorm stops before the fight starts, then it won't affect the fight. It's not locked in at the beginning of the cutscene or anything. But if it stops during the fight, while it stops being rendered, which reduces the lag, we still get damaged by it. So if it's active at the beginning of the fight, it's going to stay active for the entire fight. Which means we really don't want to see a sandstorm getting out. Nope. Oh, what? I forgot to talk to the receptionist. My bad. Just gives the sandstorm another opportunity to dissipate.
Yeah, it was all a part of the plan.
Weather manip.
Calculated.
I mean, the amount of time that passes between giving the wallet back and actually finishing, doing the gym is so significant. It's funny. It's like an hour.
Yeah, I think it's 30 minutes actually, but that's a really long time considering.
Yeah, in retrospect, an hour was kind of a lot. That's a good point.
We're just an hour 20 in. But considering that in any other game, you really wouldn't want to revisit the gyms. You just go there once and do it. That's really kind of a novelty of this game and the speedrun in particular. Actually looks like the sandstorm is gone. So the weather manip worked. Perfect. So we used to do this...
You're so good.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're doing.
We used to do this fight a little earlier in the run. And when we did this, we used to have to check our stats, and depending on how high our attack was, we needed to use acrobatics or use low kick. But since we are now level 67 already, we can just wing attack everything again. I want to draw your eyes to the thing moving in the background, way in the background, next to that peak. Just a bird flying in the sky. And that's actually the Titan Pokemon, Bombardier, that we would fight in Path of Legends or any percent.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's just chilling over there. For some reason, the render distance for the Titan Pokemon and the Titan Pokemon alone is very, very far. So, like, no other Pokemon would be rendered at this distance. But yeah,
makes sense.
This means that we can see Bombardier from here. We could also see the Titan in the desert from across the desert, which is what happened in my casual playthrough. I saw it all across the desert and I got immediately spooked because it's just a huge mammoth.
Very foreboding.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I feel like these two are the only ones that you can actually see from afar, because the other three Titans are a little more hidden.
You have to like do stuff to make them come out, right? Yeah.
I mean, Clove, we saw that Clove was sitting on the side of that wall. So yeah, you see it when you're riding past, but you're pretty close at that point anyway. And then
exactly,
two of the Titans are just straight up hidden, so wouldn't be able to see them. All right, but we beat Kofu. That's our 6th gem, so it's 2 left, and then the Elite 4. With 6 gems, the inventory for the shops has changed. So the more gym badges, specifically gym badges, you get, the better stuff you can buy in shops. And the item that is important for the speedrun that has just opened up are bottle caps. Bottle caps in this game are used to increase your IVs, individual values, which are hidden stats that used to be, you didn't used to be able to change them. They were locked in for every Pokemon, basically like genetic component to their stats. But with bottle caps, we can change them. And we actually want to do that for our attack and definitely for our speed. Because we need these stats to be perfect for the Elite 4 strat to work out. So we're just going to buy 2 of them here.
Yeah, it's really clear that Game Freak cares more and more about, like, reducing the grind of having to catch a bunch of Pokemon. Like, they want to just, if you want to be competitive, they want to let you do that, which is nice.
It's really nice. I need to do something here. Forgot to do it. Usually I would do another menu in Kofu's gym. Forgot to do it. I'm just going to do it right after this flight. It's fine. Because even though Fuecoco has done his job, it's the return of the chunk. Which means you can guess what happens next. I'm sorry.
Good things, right?
It's only good things.
Only good things.
Yay!
I wouldn't let anything happen to poor Lechonk again. But, in all seriousness, it is time for the third rival fight of the run. Which sadly means Lechonk has to take the L for us one more time.
Always. I mean, it's Lechonk for a reason. Starts with L. It's all meant to be.
True, there is actually one category where Lechonk gets to do something, and that is Starfall Street. Because you need three Pokemon in Starfall Street to raid the bases of Team Star. And so Lechonk actually gets to evolve in the current strats. We evolve it and use it as our third Pokemon for the base rate.
Cool.
Sadly, though, on Victory Road, it's just here to take hits. Not appreciated. All right, I want to make sure to immediately swap that back because I have accidentally gone to the next gym battle with Lechonk before. And that's not good, because you can't lose gym battles. I mean, you can, but then you have to do them again.
Yeah, you are expected to win those.
We do have to do the gym puzzle for this first. So we're going back outside. This next gym puzzle is interesting in that it is probably the least optimized of the puzzles. I don't think anyone has actually sat down and figured out a way to do this optimally, because the controls are a little bit strange for this one. The challenge is that we basically have to slide down the mountainside. It's like downhill skiing.
I really liked this one. This one was fun.
Yeah. It's definitely a fun idea. It just feels weird to play.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because we are just sliding the entire time and there's no way to get out of that. And the slide is a little strange to control. We're supposed to hit these gates. We don't need to. We just get a 5-second fake time penalty. That doesn't really matter because we only have to get down in time, like within a minute 30, including penalties. So as long as you don't miss literally every gate, it doesn't matter at all. There we go. Just trying to line up with the finish line. All right. I have no idea if that was good or not, like I said. Don't think that's an optimal way to do this. You can, however, if you do it very poorly, you can fall off the side. So there's a stretch of...
Oh no.
Yeah.
That'd be rough.
It's just a cliff on one side of the parkour. And didn't want to talk to you again. And if you get too close to it, you can drop off, which wastes a bunch of time. I think it actually makes you fail the challenge. So don't want to do that. Ooh, I should have maybe saved for this fight. We're gonna be fine. I'm sure we're gonna be fine. So our 7th gym leader battle is coming up. This is supposed to be the toughest gym, the 8th gym that you're taking on when playing casually. And we're fighting against Grusha. Another one of those characters that people love.
I am a big fan, of course. Absolutely.
Yes.
I love all Ice type gym leaders, though. They're great.
I feel like Gersha needs to go to therapy really bad.
I actually haven't read his line in quite some time, so I don't know. Oh, what do you mean by that? Anyway, this Frostmoth, the first Pokemon, is part bug type, so just will go down to 1-wing attack, no problem. Probably our easiest target here.
Ice is just not a very good defensive type.
It really isn't.
Like, it's just so easy to destroy the Ice type gyms.
The worst defensive type.
Yeah, makes me sad.
I mean, at least snow exists now, which makes it slightly better.
Slightly better. It's still so rough.
So Next up is the Titan, which is actually the first Pokemon where we're going to set up an X item on. Not for the Titan, but for the fourth and final Pokemon that we're just going to send out. So we're spending one turn to buff our attack, which means we will take one hit here. Okay, good. Yeah, just look again. What am I doing? There we go. Because this Flamigo has minimum defense, I was a little worried about potentially getting crit here. But I think even a crit would have been fine.
Yeah, because that would have... Because it's the 1.5s now, I think you would have been okay.
The final Pokemon here is Altaria. And once again, it's going to get terrestrialized into the gym's type, so it's actually going to take super effective damage from low kick. Which works out well for us. Because I think it would have been pretty hard to deal with if it would have stayed a dragon type. And there we go. Gym leader number 7 for us. That just leaves the double battle gym. We're saving that for last. It is the most volatile gym because, you know, double battle they have a huge random component. Who are the enemies gonna target? Which moves are they gonna use? There's more just variance to it because it's not just 1v1. But since I didn't catch the Hariyama earlier, we still need to get the backup one, which is what we're going to do next. So the double battle gym is actually right on this mountain. It would be just a short hop from here, but we are just going to fly away for...
It is not time yet. We are not ready.
Yeah, we're just going to fly to a different part of the map real quick and grab that Hariyama. Right after being introduced to yet another Elite Four member in Poppy. Right.
That was 7, right?
That was the 7th gym, yes.
7.
Yeah, we're zooming.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny in that, like, the elite, like, you're like, oh, we do the 8 gym battles, and then it's like, the Elite Four is basically just then 4 gym battles back to back.
Basically, yes.
Like, it's a huge chunk.
Gotta go left here. So there's a static group of Hariyama that spawns right around here. Static meaning that it will spawn every time. It's not a random spawn like most other spawns in the game. So we reliably know that they're going to be here. And they're always going to be level 55, which for this region of the map is really high levels. Yeah, because we have 7 badges, this quick ball catch is guaranteed even without a backstrike. Don't have to worry about it at all. And Hariyama is just going to get added to our team. We do have to really quickly teach it or let it relearn one move. But we can take on the gym. Okay. I always forget where. There it is. Knock off in slot 1, please. Okay, this is a perfectly fine Hariyama. On my last practice run, I actually got a minimum attack Hariyama, so that minus attack nature and 0 IV in attack.
No,
oh my God.
that sounds awful.
And actually...
How much of a difference does it make? Like, does it super matter?
It doesn't matter too much, but I found out that there's a range that no one knew about during this gym battle.
Uh-oh.
Which, you know, wouldn't have happened if I had gotten it better.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you used to have to be level 100 to do that, but they changed it to 50 in this game. Oh, looks like we're having some technical issues again. Of course, sing us some hold music while we sort this out.
Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-da-dum. Bum 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 ba-da-dum. Bum 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 bum.
Okay.
All right.
All right then.
I just needed to sing Wave Dash PowerPoint. We're all good.
I appreciate it. Wait, that's what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you recognize it?
Now I do.
So yeah, in case we just missed that because of technical difficulties, I just did the hyper training where we increase the IVs of our attack and speed to 31, which is the maximum. So yeah, this Flamingo no longer slow and even stronger than it was before, which is necessary for the Elite Four strats that we're going to use. It's actually not all of the buffing that we're going to do, but more on that just a little bit later. Because for now it's time to take on this gym. And this is like supposed to be a concert. And with a warm-up act. So we're gonna do 3 double battle fights here to get the crowd hyped for the actual gym leader battle. Let me just scroll to the fight notes here, because depending on which Hariyama you use, the one that you can catch in Alphanata Cavern or the one that you can catch as a backup, the strats for this are going to be different. Not for this battle though, we're just going to spam A. Because both the Greaver and the Shophead are pretty weak and slow.
I like that Shophead does a pog when it faints. I think that's fun.
True. I love the aesthetic of this gym battle. I really like it. One of my favorites for sure. It's a standout.
These are like the only double battles you do, right?
Yeah, there's really not that many.
Which is sad.
There's no trade doubles.
Yeah. I think it's sad. I really like double battles casually.
Same. I was really, really surprised there were not any double battles, like just with trainers running around.
Okay, so if the Hariyama had a little bit higher speed, we could actually save half a turn here. But yeah, the Hariyama needs to outspeed the Mischievous. That would require 78 speed. This Hariyama, however, only has 75, so we actually have to sit through Haunter's attack here.
I was about to ask how Knockout is hitting Ghost, and then I realized that it was Knockout, and my brain read it as Fake Out
Oh.
or Knockoff, and I was like, whoa, okay, hold on.
Yeah, Knockoff is
Yes, obviously Knockoff works.
Knockoff is a dark type move that used to be super weak. They buffed it at some point. Now it's like 60 power.
Gen 6.
Yeah.
It's stupid good now. It went from like extremely mediocre, or like a utility move to like genuinely a very good move.
And it's very good for that Hariyama just knows this. Because
yeah, it's a great type coverage for us with Hariyama.
Drift Blim!
So this Sableye is where
Frenchie.
Whoa, Drift Blim just warped. Did y'all see that? That was wild.
Loved it.
No.
This Sableye is where the range was that I discovered with the minimum attack Hariyama, because with the minimum attack it's actually only a 10 and 16 to get one shot by Heavy Slam.
So tragic.
Yeah. But at neutral or plus attack, or just at 17 plus IV negative attack, it's guaranteed. So I just got really unlucky.
I like that there are Pokemon in the audience that are also very excited. I think that's very cute.
Yeah.
It's a great arena. It's really, really good.
I definitely like the idea behind it. I think the execution is not 100% great.
Pokemon's never done that. Had a great idea and then just completely botched the execution. That sounds like a
that would actually
new
never
thing
happen.
for Pokemon.
I do think they could go even bigger with this. I know that the gyms aren't quite the spectacle that they were in Sword and Shields, but this could have been much larger than just the small stage in the middle of the town. Could have been a concert hall or something like that. All right, but with that, we can actually challenge the gym leader Rhyme here. That's, of course, also going to be a double battle. And this fight is pretty dangerous if you have the low-level Hariyama, because since its defenses are going to be much lower, it's actually at risk of dying if it gets hard focused by everything on Rhyme's team. And you also have to use Belly Drum in that strat. Belly Drum is a very good move that boosts your attack to the maximum at the cost of half your HP. So you sacrifice half your HP to Belly Drum already. And if you get hit like twice after that, Hariyama just dies and loses you a bunch of time.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That doesn't happen with this high-level Hariyama though, because you're not using Belly Drum, so there's really no risk at all.
Is this the longest gym sequence we do?
Definitely.
Other than water.
It's
Yeah.
so long.
Considering that water is like
It's chunky.
stretched out across a longer movement section, I think it seems a little longer than it actually is. But with all of these dialogues in between the fights, it being 3 double battles, yeah, this is, I think, the longest.
This one's really long.
So we're gonna wing attack the Bayonet and knock off the Mimikyu. Mimikyu has an ability called Disguise, where the first hit it takes will only ever do 1/8 of its HP in damage. So we have to hit it twice to defeat it.
Remember when it didn't take damage? That was fair.
Yeah, when it was introduced, it didn't take any damage on the first hit.
So sick.
Yeah, it was absurdly good.
Definitely not broken.
This fight also has another gimmick that we're about to see here. The crowd can cheer us on, which is like a 10 to 15 second section where they just, this basically. And it also gives us a buff to both our attack and our special attack here, which is also pretty slow. It's neat because now we are stronger, but we want to avoid that. And that's the way to do that by just wasting a turn on Hariyama. We're gonna attack the Mimikyu with a fighting type move, which doesn't have any effect since ghosts are just completely resistant to fighting type moves, unless you're scrappy, but Hariyama just isn't. So Hariyama just wasted its turn, but if we had defeated Mimikyu here, there would have been another one of those cheering on sections that just waste like 20 seconds.
And now the dead walk.
It's toxicity.
So I just still can't believe they did an entire gym of double battles and then put them nowhere else in the game. You would think they just wouldn't have done it. It's so confusing.
Well, no, because they have to support them for VGC anyways.
True.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, it had to be in the game. I'm glad that they at least did the double battle gem.
Oh yeah, I'm glad too. It's just confusing.
Yeah.
The battle engine is also largely very iterative. Like there's references, for example, there's references to stuff in BDSP that is from Sword and Shield. It's just not used in that game. Like no, not Terror Raid dens. They're Max Raid dens. Like all of that logic is still in the all that battle system logic is still there. It's just not used. So it's probably harder to rip out doubles entirely.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, that's the last gym badge. We got them all. So before we go to the Elite Four, because we are qualified to go there yet, we have to do some shopping because this Flamigo is already pretty strong. It's plus attack from the nature. It has 31 IB in attack as well, but that is still not enough. And there's yet another way we can go to boost its stats even further. And that is by buying items called vitamins that boost our EV, another hidden stat, which again increases our attack and our speed as well. But those vitamins are really expensive. I think they're like 10k a pop. So we need to sell some stuff first. This is where all of the selling items we collected are going to be sold. Luckily, we can book sell in this game, so we don't have to sell each item individually. We can just select them all. And this needs to be sold, and this as well. All right. Just get 116k in one single payout. And then we're gonna go to the pharmacy. And
we gotta spend all our cash, stock up.
Buy 12 of these, buy 6 of these, 6 of these, there we go. And now we're going to the Elite Four. Now we picked up the fly point already, so we can just fly right there. Like I said earlier, since Mesagoza is an entirely separate map and there are pretty long loading times if you try to enter it, it's a good thing that we don't have to go through Mesagoza again to reach the Pokemon League. We're just able to fly here and can now challenge the Elite Four if we so desire, and we definitely do. But before we can do that, I've alluded to this earlier, we have to pass an interview. First we get the classic badge check where this person just checks if we got all the badges.
My thing is like how boring of a job that must be. Like, how often are people coming by having beaten all of the gyms? Like, I feel like you get that like once a week, maybe.
I feel like once a week is pushing it.
You think it'd be even less than that?
I think it'd probably be less than that.
There's not that many people who are strong enough.
This is not a particularly populated region.
That must be such a boring job.
Alright, I actually have to focus on this because, like we said earlier, you can fail this if you select wrong answers. And that's super slow, so just gonna try to focus on the interview.
Let that be known. Failing tests, slow.
Not optimal.
I'm writing this down.
I'm taking this super slow right now. You could answer these questions much quicker, but I really want to make sure in this situation to not get kicked. All right. And then these last two questions are just the first option for both. So we get asked the question.
Do you like Pokemon?
Yes. I like Pokemon. Please let me in.
I didn't like that. I think it was like if you put like, what do you want to be champion? If you're like, I don't know. They're like, you failed. And I'm like, what?
It's like, it's not my main objective. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I actually care a lot more about the Path of Legends storyline. I'm just here to complete stuff. I'm just being honest with you. You want me to lie? I mean, I did want to be the champion, so I wasn't lying, but...
I'm just here to have a good time. Is that too much to ask?
Is that a crime? It really isn't. You actually also get this, you get asked the same question twice, once in the beginning of the interview and then one more time right before the end. And if you give two different answers to this question, even though there's no wrong answer, you also get kicked. So I'm just going to use the vitamins here. I'm going to boost our attack and speed. There we go. Now we're ready for the Elite Four. Is this a good point to take a break?
I think we can
Yeah,
just... I think
place
you know
to pause,
that makes
right?
sense.
Okay.
Do it before the Elite Four happens.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to save
We'll have
here.
a short break, and then we'll come back and just finish up the run. It'll be awesome.
I
All
agree.
right.
But before we go on a break, if you missed out on SGDQ 2023 or our Juneteenth celebration, be sure to check out the VODs at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits shared on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. Don't go anywhere. We have a forward to Elite.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tiny Treefort. We are in the middle of a Pokemon Scarlet run. It's been fantastic, and I hope everyone is having a good night hanging out with us here at Tiny Treefort. May, Char, you all ready?
I'm ready.
I was gonna say one of us has to go first. Yes.
You're both being so kind and polite to each other. You know, it just had to wait. But I think let's jump back in. I'll count us in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's beat the Elite Four.
Yes, let's do it. So, the Elite Four, like in any other Pokemon game, is going to be a gauntlet of boss battles. Like the name says, it's 4 plus the champ. And the first Elite Four member that we're going to fight is Rika. We just finished the interview with her. We have to fight her right here. She uses ground-type Pokemon. And even though we are flying-type, which usually is pretty good because, flying-type is immune to ground, this fight is actually pretty dangerous. Probably the most dangerous fight in the entire run.
Yeah. Casually, as somebody who only uses flying types, asterisk, I got owned by this fight the first time I did it. I was like, this is gonna be so easy. Oh no!
Oh no, this is rough.
So yeah, it's surprisingly tricky. The first thing that we're going to see here, this Whiscash is going to use Future Sight, which is a psychic type move that hits 2 turns after it's used. It's also going to hit us for super effective. That was the wrong move. I think I just lost. Oh, I got a crit. Saved, never punished.
Love that for you.
Perfect.
That was so silly. I just mashed A. Well, I would have saved, so it would have been fine. This time I am supposed to use Wing Attack. Yeah, we're gonna get hit by Future Sight here. It's gonna be super effective damage. It's gonna do a little more than half, probably. Even though my special defense is pretty good. Oh, perfect. It's less than half.
Because Future Sight does a lot.
Yeah.
It's like 120 base
It can also crit. That gets extra scary. And now comes Donphan. This Donphan has Sturdy, and we don't have a way of getting it down in 1 turn. So it gets to hit us with Stone Edge. Oh, nice avoid. Good avoid. Because double...
Stone Edge is only 85% accurate, so that helps a lot.
I'm getting super lucky here. Double kick is not enough to take out the Donphan in 1 turn, so we don't have a way of bypassing Sturdy without, using an extra turn. So usually the Donphan gets to hit us with Stone Edge, which is why the defenses matter, because we have to take a hit from both Future Sight and Stone Edge. Here comes Rika's Ace, everybody's favorite new Pokemon, Clodsire.
Yeah.
Woo!
Big fan.
Applaud the Claude.
Applaud.
This Cloud Sarah can be a little bit annoying to us because you can use Protect just randomly, which wastes a turn. Like that. It's fine. Can't really do much else. We have speed, and low kick would one-shot if it connected. Getting Protect in PP attempts is very frustrating because it wastes like 20 seconds. And there we go. That's Rika done. First Elite Four.
Woo.
Defeated.
Nice.
Even with the
Bye,
mistake.
Rika. You're amazing.
She's so composed in defeat too. Great loser. All right. The second fight in Elite Four is Poppy, the little girl that we met that one time in the Pokemon Center, in the gym. She uses a Steel-type Pokemon, which again, pretty good for Flamigo since we are fighting type, which is super effective. Before we go into this fight, we have to heal. Luckily, this game introduced a feature called auto healing where I can just do this. So I should save, just for safety again. I didn't need to go into the menu and select the heal item. I could just press minus on the Pokemon that I wanted to heal, and the game automatically selects the healing items and uses them for you. Very, very nice for this part of the run specifically, because we basically have to heal after every Elite Four fight.
Now you just gotta give us cutscene skip. We have all the modern RPG amenities.
Yeah.
True.
Wish we could. I mean, there is cutscene skip in this game, but it doesn't really work as intended.
I mean, there's skip moves.
Yeah.
That's not the same.
Yeah. Maybe in 5 years we'll get all the quality of life that we deserve.
I
That's
don't
so
know.
good.
I feel like at this point we're never gonna get cutscene skip.
That's so sad.
Like at this point, it feels like it's just a deliberate choice.
It does feel like it's an intentional choice. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I gave skip movies because I guess the thought is that like anything that happens in engine, they don't want to get into worry about getting like a weird state, which like you can skip movies. That doesn't matter, but it still stinks.
Definitely does. I wish we at least got the option to auto advance text or something, which other RPGs have.
That would be nice too.
Instead, the community actually allows turbo controllers, so controllers that just mash for you, which is really neat.
Which is good because this game has a lot of text, and mashing in it stinks.
Especially because like you said, there's a lot of text in this. The cutscenes are very long, and there are also a lot of cutscenes. And if you're doing any percent, that's basically 5.5 hours of mashing. So using turbo, definitely better for your hand health.
Yeah, like I have to stop running 3DS Pokemon like more than just for like marathons because it messed up my wrist so bad.
It hurts. I ran it once and it messed up my wrist. Like, it's just not good for your hands.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the option of using controllers for that. I mean, I think somebody's working on some stuff for that, but like
really, that would be super interesting.
Yeah, realistically though,
yeah, it's unfortunate because it's a Mega Ruby's a really good run, really fun.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and now we have extra steel Tinkaton.
Yeah. All of the Elite Four members terrestrialize to the type that the Pokemon already has, which makes them hit even harder if they get an attack of their same type off. Of course, they don't get the chance because we just one-shot out of them. And that's Poppy. So who could be up next? Who would be the third Elite Four member?
It could be anyone.
It turns out the grind never stops for Larry. Because not only is he a gym leader and has an office job, but also he's an Elite Four member.
I love Larry. This reveal killed me. It was incredible.
It's so good.
They knew that the audience, everyone was going to latch on to Larry. They're like, wait a minute.
And
bring
his
him
tie has
back.
clouds on it, which is foreshadowing.
It is! It's so good!
That's true, because Larry doesn't just use normal type again. He's the Elite Four, the flying type Elite Four member.
It's so good.
As flying normal is the most common type
That is true.
combination.
And funnily enough, he just reuses his Staraptor as well. Because it's both flying and normal. That's perfect for Larry.
It is absolutely perfect. It's so good.
I also love the lore of Ida being like, oh yeah, Larry, you're gonna do this because I know you'll agree to it.
Yeah!
He's like, all right, I guess that's my job now.
You got me. You're right.
This Tropius usually goes for Sunny Day. Can't just randomly choose to not do it, which one forces to heal after the fight. But I did go for Sunny Day here, which is perfect. The strat here would usually be that it could now spam Solar Beam, which is a very strong grass type move that usually needs to turn off charge up. But if the sun is shining, it just can skip that charge up turn. Of course, it doesn't get to use Solar Beam at all because, well, you just dispatch of it. And the rest of the fight, sadly, is pretty straightforward. Larry's probably the easiest Elite Four member for us here in the speedrun.
He does not. His ace does change, though.
His ace does change. Very interesting choice for his ace, but before we get to that, there's one more Pokemon that we have to defeat here, Oricorio. One more acrobatics to that. And out comes his ace, and it's none other than, drumroll, Flamigo, yay!
Yay!
It's a mirror matchup.
Let's go!
Mirror
the
match.
crowd goes wild!
But luckily we are way faster, way stronger.
They're so in sync.
Yeah.
Which is on brand for Flamigo.
It terrestrializes to flying, so I think if it had kept its fighting type, wing attack would probably have been enough to take it out. But since it loses that type, we do have to go for acrobatics here as well.
That acrobatic's such a good move.
It's amazing. So I didn't really explain it before. I think it's 55 base power, which seems low, but it's doubled if your Pokemon isn't holding an item. So
Doubled is just so
yeah,
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And not having a held item is usually a pretty big downside, but
Yes, but the double is huge. And then you can also use like Flying Gem with it, which
well, Flying Gem sucks
Yeah.
now, but yeah.
you could have. Or like back in the day, that was
Yeah.
a thing, right?
Gen
Yeah.
5, you could do that.
In Gen 5, it was absurdly good.
Yeah.
And now you can use things like berries, and if you have like something like Unburden too, ugh. You know who gets Unburden and acrobatics? Actually, hold on, let me check this quickly.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember if it gets acrobatics. You know who gets Unburden and acrobatics? Drifblim.
Oh, I should say.
Drifblim stays winning. That's all I'm saying.
I'm always saying this.
Yes.
I think the hardest that you can usually get out of an acrobatics hit in Gen 5 was the fossil bird.
Arkin?
Yeah, that had like, doesn't it have like ridiculously
Arkin.
high base attack?
Yeah, Archeops has extremely high attack, and so then that with acrobatics and gem,
Yeah.
that's like an insane amount of damage.
Basically, Yoko's everything. So, Hassel, the final Elite Four member, as is tradition, Hassel uses dragon types. So we need to set up one more X attack here. We're gonna get hit by Air Slash, I believe, which is super effective, does a lot of damage, which is unfortunate. There we go. It wouldn't matter too much if the second Pokemon that Hassel is going to send out didn't have the ability Poison Point. Poison Point is basically like static, but instead of having a 30% chance to paralyze you, there's a 30% chance to poison you if you make physical contact. And each and every one of Flamigo's moves makes physical contact, but we didn't get poisoned, so that's great. If we get poisoned here, we may have needed to heal before the end of the fight because the poison ticks would have just slowly killed us. But we got lucky. One more time. And speaking of Gen 5, there's Hexorus. And Hassel's Ace is the pseudo-legendary dragon from this generation, Excalibur.
Yeah.
Pretty good Pokemon.
Yeah. It's actually
I like
basically
it.
an alt main strat for this run that uses Excalibur. It's a little slower, but it's a very fun run. So if you want to run this game, but you don't want to go through the trouble of getting a scrappy Flamigo every time, you might want to check out the Excalibur route.
Yeah, have people started doing trade alts for this yet? Now that we have home integration.
I haven't seen anyone do it yet, but people were pretty excited for it. I'm just guessing because a lot of the Scarlet single story runners are doing Let's Go right now. I'm just guessing that they're going to come back whenever the tournament concludes.
Because trade alts with different categories should be cool.
Oh yeah.
Or it'll all just be
so
the same of
route.
just collecting 55 or collecting 900 candies, and then be
I feel
kind
like
of.
that can't not be the strategy, right?
I mean, it will be.
If-
So it might just
give
not
them to
be that
whichever-
fun because
Yeah,
it's just
that's
trivial.
fair.
But
Yeah. I guess we'll see what the trade outs main community will come up with. But
because part of the fun.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Part of the fun of rooting trade alts in the more linear games is just some of the absolutely cursed strategies you have to do. Like when I rooted Latias trade alt main for Oras, we had to like use cut on Latias,
Cuts.
which not fully accurate cut. Fun fact.
Oh, yeah, right. It's 95%. Well, that's rough.
That's a bad route. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be as much of an issue. I feel like the main part of routing Victory Road specifically would be the Elite Four fights. I was looking into just an alt main, not trade alts, but just a different main for this category at one point because, well, I was basically part of a group of runners that tried to get Flamigo out as the main because we don't like it for speedrunning.
No.
I like Flamigo as a Pokemon, and casually I used it on my team, but it's really annoying.
First you get rid of Fuecoco, next you get rid of Flamigo. It's the slander.
Anyway, let's talk about the champion fight. Let's not dwell on that. Ita, the champion. We don't want to do anything while this is Patra is up, because basically everything this is Patra nuts can kill us. It has Dazzling Beam, it has Psychic, we are weak to both of those. So instead we're going to set up on this Go-Goat, which for some reason Go-Goat is on a champion team. It's not a very strong Pokemon, so I don't know why Gita chose Go-Goat, but we'll take it. If this Go-Goat chooses to go for bulk up, nope it doesn't. We save a little bit of time because this is the only time that Gita actually hits us in the fight. And if she hits us, that triggers this little cutscene that we just saw. And if she never hits us, we don't see that cutscene, so it's just a little bit of time save goes for bulk up instead of play rough. Alright, coming up next is King Gambit. Very cool new evolution that we got in this Just dies to low kick. It's dark and steel type, so it's 4 times weak to fighting type moves. Really doesn't stand a chance. And Veluza makes another appearance. I don't quite know why. I don't like it, but here it is. Next up is Avalok. Basically the reason why we have to set up, because this thing has a ridiculously high defense stat, and low kick would not be able to OHKO without the X attack. Another crit, okay, sure. And then comes her ace. He has a full team of 6, so 6 Pokemon is Glamora, which I had never seen before this fight when I played this casually. Because while there is a way to get this during the main story, the easiest way to get it is in the late game area that only unlocks after you've finished all of the 3 single stories.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it either.
Yeah, that's the way to get the pre-evolution, but it's very small, very easy to miss. So I never saw it. One last proc of this ability. Toxic Debris just sets out an entry hazard, which doesn't matter at all since Glamora was the final Pokemon, so there's never going to be any switching here. I keep asking myself why Toxic Debris even triggers if it's on the last Pokemon. But, it's fine. Now, we're a champ. We have become the very best, but that was not our only objective. Not only did we want to become the very best, we also wanted to prove our worth to Nemona. So there is one last fight in this run. It's against Nemona, and this time we actually have to win.
Oh, man.
No more sacking the Lechonk.
All right. We gotta change up our strategy.
Yeah. A little bit of cutscene first. Since we picked the fire starter with Coco, Nemona picked the grass starter in Sprigatito, and its final evolution, Miascarada, that we also use in Path of Legends speedrun, is super fast. So we actually have to change our nature again, and I picked up a Hasty Mint very early in the run. This nature is plus speed, and that's turns out the last thing that we need to actually outspeed the Miascarada. So I will just use that Hasty Mint before going into the fight. Sadly, Hasty is minus defense, and since we are minimum defense, we could take a lot of damage on that one turn that we need for setup, which coincidentally happened to me on my PB. So this is the final fight of the run, and if you get crit on your setup turn, you need to spend a turn healing, which is super slow. Because Nemona also gets extra dialogue if she crits you. So, where am I going? Where's the mint? There it is.
The crit dialogue sounds so infuriating as a speedrunner. Like,
it's so
annoying.
I'm already losing time to getting crit, and then you have to add a text box. Stop.
Yeah.
It's because you really know your type matchups. Thanks, Hop.
That is the Hop effect, yes. Sadly, Nemona also falls into that category of rival. This sure does look like a movie, doesn't it? But somehow the movie skipping option doesn't let you skip this movie.
It's because your character's in it.
Really? Is that the reason?
Which means it has to pick because it has to then render your clothes.
Right, okay, I see. That makes sense, but it still sucks.
It does suck. I hate that it's like this, but as far as I understand, a movie is any pre-rendered cutscene that does not involve your character because the clothes are static.
Right, yeah. Makes sense. All right, fun fight. Like I said, we are going to spend one more turn of setup. We have one last X attack that we are going to use here, which gives this Lycan Rock one free chance to hit us with Stone Edge one more time. It can miss that Stone Edge since, again, it's only 85% accurate. Let's see what happens. So much hits, doesn't crit, perfect. This is what we like to see, so now we can just low kick. So yeah, getting critty and having to heal loses about 20 seconds, which, like I said, happened on my current PB. That my run would have been second place on the leaderboards at the time, but because of that crit, turned out to only be third place. Which was very frustrating at the time.
Of course, yeah.
Nimona has an interesting team here. I do like Gudra, but she also just has some meme Pokemon, like the dance bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's the 3-part
We
Dunsparce.
outspeed the Dunsparce, that's the question.
Huh?
It's so fast.
Sure. And then she also has Earthworm. Another really goofy looking Pokemon.
I love Earthworm. Shoutouts to V.
And here comes her ace, the final Pokemon of the run, Meowscarada. Again, this is dependent on which starter you pick. There's going to be the one weak to your starter, and we will wing attack this to finish the run. Time will end after the cutscene, so not on fade out or anything. There's going to be a title card that just basically says Victory Road complete, and as soon as the border of that title card has fully disappeared, that's going to be time. And here we go. Meowscarada goes down. We've defeated Nimona. We've proven our worth.
Yeah. Let's go.
And then I believe, to celebrate, I believe Nimona dabs.
Yeah, there we go.
It's so
She holds it
good.
for such a long time, too.
And you can see a drip flute. It's the best cutscene of all time.
It's so good.
Yes, we are truly the strongest out there. So Nimona's actually really happy for us that we beat her, because she's been talking about this moment basically as soon as we met her. Which is funny because she starts out already being a champion, so she has already beaten Gita when we start the game, but she just chooses to use a weaker team against you to just train up a new team alongside you, which I think is a neat idea. But yeah, this team is at its full strength. We managed to defeat her anyway. We are strong, the very best.
Like, no one ever... Well, I guess, like
Nimona
was
always
before.
already is. Yeah, champion is more of like a rank in this region, so it's not like there's one champion, but if you beat Gita once, then you are a champion. All right, this is the title cards. Time's gonna be very soon, and time.
Woo! Great run.
All right. Before we
Oops.
wrap it up, you got any shout-outs you'd like to do?
Sure. I have some shout-outs for the Switch PSR community in routing this game. There's a Discord server if you're interested in running this game or any other Switch Pokemon game. You can find the Discord server on speedrun.com on the pages of each of those games. So if you have any questions about the run, join the server, ask away. We're very happy to help. If you want to see more of me, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Travaria. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you for being here and becoming a champion with all of us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
we
this
do
is
have-
so much fun. Do you have any a few announcements for us, May?
I got one announcement for you, Court. If
Bless.
you want to hear it.
What is it? Yeah, I'd love
You sure
to.
you want to hear it?
I think I might know what it's about, so I think I'm excited.
If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Also go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Also, if you are interested in joining the Flame Foretells Discord and you are eligible for it, for more information on that, go to gamesdonequick.com/frameforetells. You can email frameforetells@gamesdonequick and join the community. Again, Flame Foretells is coming up in under 2 months.
Oh my god,
we're so close. Oh, Court, I have so much work to do.
I know. Our schedule for Flame Fatales is going to be releasing on July 6th. I believe Spire here submitted some Pokémon Scarlet,
Yes.
so fingers crossed for that. That's exciting. We're gonna have a really fun time. But I think that's pretty much all from us. And actually, we have our finale of Tiny Treefort is going to be in 2 weeks. It's been so much fun getting to do this with May. I'm sad to see it end, but it's time for other shows to come on and join us. So it's going to be a Super Mario World Kaizo show. So get excited for that, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. That's all from us.
That we picked what it was going to be.
You should have known because I messaged you about it.
I'm learning here along with all of you. Wow.
Keeping you on your toes. But stick around for the raid. Thank you all so much for being here.
Bye.
Bye.